one away. Oh boy, I this thing got be all away. Yes, they got be one away. The same got to be all away. They got for you, and the same got for me. The God when you're down and out, the same God they will pick you up. Oh, they got for one away. Oh boy, I the same got be all away. Yes, they got.
All right, Omega listeners, it is now time for Queen Bee Frequency right here on Omega Radio with your host, Tikea Bowers. We are inviting you to stay locked in as we get ready to turn you over for another episode of Queen Bee Frequency. Stick and stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, you'll be hearing from your host, Tikea Bowers, right here on Omega Radio.
Queen. It's your girl, Tikea. Welcome to Queen Bee Frequency on Omega Radio, your space for growth and becoming her. Tune in Wednesdays at 10 a.m., where energy shifts and queens rise. Hey, queens. Welcome back to another episode of Queen Bee Frequency. You already know this is the show where energy shifts and queens rise. I'm your host, Tikea, and today we're going to talk about something that a lot of women are silently experiencing, and it's that you don't hate your job. It's that you hate who you have to become to survive it. And ladies, I know there's a lot of you out there with hopes and dreams to become entrepreneurs, start your own businesses, and while you're at work, just wasting your talents, I want you to listen to this episode and feel inspired by what I'm about to talk to you about. This episode is for the woman who feels emotionally drained, uninspired, and disconnected from themselves. So stay around and pay attention because I want you guys to feel inspired by this episode. I'm going to talk to you about how when you work for a corporate job, how easy it is for you to shrink. You shrink your talents, you lower your voice, you pretend like there's some things that you don't know how to do. You hide behind this mask so that you can fit into an organization that just does not suit you. And you feel it over time. Some of us are working for companies for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, and we just feel emotionally exhausted. We feel that pull towards something else, but we don't have the energy or the guts to just step out and do something for ourselves that we love. Some workplaces don't just drain your energy, they drain your identity. And that is so true. And I can totally identify with that. Your soul gets tired when you perform all day. And a lot of us are performing and playing small in our workplaces because we have hidden talents that we refuse to bring to the surface so that we can shine in the proper places where we belong. A lot of women are taught to be agreeable, don't compete, don't outshine others, and that keeps us small and keeps us stuck in places where we don't belong. You don't even recognize yourself anymore because you've been playing small for so long at that same organization that is not yours. I think we use the word burnout a lot. We use the word burnout a lot for everything, and a lot of us are burned out. But when we're talking about burnout, when it comes to careers and our businesses, burnout simply means you're just tired. Misalignment means that you're in a life that doesn't fit who you are. So the two do not coexist. They're very different. Burnout, some of us are in alignment when we're burnt out. We just haven't found the ability or the time to rest because we have so much going on. A lot of us are running our companies on our own, or if we're working for an organization, we are playing the role of managers, we're in leadership. So we're just on a go, go, go. We bring work home. So that can cause you to feel burned out. But when you have that feeling of misalignment, it means that you just don't fit there anymore. You feel it in your spirit that you're being called to something else. Burnout can happen in purpose, but misalignment, that happens when you outgrow the environment that you're in. When your gifts are bigger than the box you've been sitting in, you feel it. Trust me, you do. And you have to answer that calling on your life and pay attention to it and ask yourself, what is it that I do best at? What direction that would I grow more in? And it doesn't mean that you're going to quit your job and go run to the woods and have an emotional awakening. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that You need to sit with yourself and figure out what is going to make you happy in your life so that you're not wasting your talents and wasting the calling that's on your life. But remember, you're not lazy in your position, you just feel uninspired. And a lot of us feel when we're in these positions that we're not doing enough, but it really is just the inspiration that's lacking from our lives. You know what's exhausting? Pretending you don't know you're capable of more. A lot of us, as I stated, have major callings on our lives, but we keep ourselves stuck in one position because we're too afraid to expand. We're so used to being comfortable where we are that we don't feel like we can go anywhere else. We don't feel like there's anything outside of what we're currently doing. So, showing up every day knowing that you have leadership in you, you have a calling on your life, you have hidden talents, you have healing in you, you have a vision in you, but continuing to play a role that no longer reflects who you're becoming will keep you stuck forever. And we don't want that. We want to elevate and move past the place that we're in. We're always meant to grow. We're always meant to expand. We're never meant to stay in the same position. And women do all this all the time because we're practical. A lot of us are thinking, oh, we have a family. We can't quit our job. We have major responsibilities. We have bills to pay. And what that tells me is that we don't believe in ourselves in order to step out and do what it is that our heart is telling us that we deserve. Society says you should have it all figured out, especially women in their 30s. That's when a lot of us have our awakening, where we're like, oh, we get that business idea, or we've always had the business, but now we're ready to really just put our all into it and step out of the corporate world and do what our body is calling us to do. So it's sad that, society puts all of these limitations on us and makes us feel like we are only capable of doing certain things. And that's not true. I always tell you guys that there should be no limitations on our lives. There are no limitations on our lives. Society places those limitations on us so that we feel like we cannot expand. It puts a lot of rules and restrictions on us so that we don't move like we know that we should. And it keeps us stuck in a pattern that we don't belong in. A lot of women they build their lives from survival mode. So they're stuck in a position. A lot of you are in positions for over 15, 20 years because maybe the benefits are great, or maybe there's something some major benefit that you're hoping to achieve later on, but you're literally risking never ever achieving your potential because you're dedicated and you're loyal to a company that isn't loyal to you. Because at the end of the day, when they're ready to say goodbye and hand you a pink slip, it's over for you. So you always want to make sure you follow your heart. And as I stated, I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm telling you to find what it is that makes you feel whole and at peace in your life so that you can live a fulfilling and authentic life. You want peace, purpose, softness, and alignment. That's our goal always. And we had an episode a few weeks back talking about the soft life. And I explained to you that the soft life doesn't mean that you're sitting around and doing nothing. The soft life essentially means that you're doing what fulfills you and makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, we're all meant to be happy. We're not meant to be winding around in circles all of the time, trying to figure out what we want to do, miserable, upset that we're not in the place that we thought that we would be. Because in your 30s is where I stated you have that awakening and you feel like you can make that shift, but you also feel like you're at that age where you should feel settled again, because society tells us that in our 30s, we should be married, we should have kids, we should feel settled, we should be in a career that is fulfilling to us already. We should have this amount of money saved. We should have this house. We should have that car. But in reality, none of that makes us happy because we're only living based off of the rules of society that really don't even exist. These are made up rules for us when in fact, we make our own rules. We get to decide what we want to do. And a lot of us have amazing business ideas that can help a lot of people, but we're too afraid to step out on faith and make it happen. Sitting at work sometimes, you can feel totally disconnected from your assignments and your tasks and everything that you have to do because you know it's not you. A lot of us went to school for certain things that, we thought that we would end up doing for the rest of our lives, but we're in careers that have nothing to do with the degree that we went to school for. And that's because we settled for a job, maybe because it pays us a lot, or maybe because it felt comfortable and safe. But in reality, you don't feel whole and fulfilled. So we sit at these jobs, we're daydreaming, we're feeling called to something higher, but we can't answer that call because we feel stuck. That feeling is an ego. That feeling is awareness. And it doesn't mean that you're ungrateful for your job because, as I say all the time, I sit in my car every time when I pull up to work and I'm like, thank you, God, for this job. Even though there are times where I feel so frustrated, and I too have to play small because I know my potential. I know who I am. But at the same time, for me, it's not necessary to shine there because that's not exactly where I know I should be. And as you can see, I'm working towards moving out of that position and into something that fulfills my soul, something that's going to help me to help others and touch others, because essentially that's what we're here for the collective, to help each other. This episode is not about recklessly quitting your job. Start small, start exploring. When you're on your lunch break, make small steps. Step out on faith, make that awkward Facebook post about your new business that you have, that idea that you have, post the products that you've made. Don't be afraid to show off what you've been working on and who you are and what's fulfilling in your life, because you'd be very surprised who you reach and who you touch and who wants your products and who wants to work with you. So don't sell yourself short. And that brings me to, you always know I have a Bible verse for you because I want to connect it to remind you that God's words, he always has a word for us that pushes us in the direction that we belong in. He wants greatness for us always. That is our call. That's the calling on our lives is greatness. The Bible verse is Proverbs 31:25, and it says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity and she laughs without fear of the future." Our goal is to live in the now and plant seeds for the future that will bloom in the future, but live in the present and do all of the things so that our futures will be bright. And that's just trusting yourself and trusting God that whatever it is that whatever seed we're planting, we know that it's going to grow without a shadow of a doubt. We don't have to look under the soil. We don't have to look at the plant every single day. All we need to be is consistent and trust God that the direction that He wants us in, the direction that our soul is telling us to go in, is the right way. Fear and alignment cannot lead your life at the same time. You have to make up your mind that you're going to step out on faith. You have to take really big risks, especially when you're doing something that has never been done before, or a seed that's been planted in your heart. It's going to feel really hard in the beginning, but trust me, if the seed was planted in you, God will give you the tools and the infrastructure to get it done and do it successfully. And this week's Queen's Library book is a direct correlation with what we're talking about today, and it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. This book is talking about upper limits and fear of expansion, and how our subconscious mind forces us sometimes to shrink. And we stay comfortable all of the time because comfort makes our nervous systems feel good. But the minute we step out on faith and we expand and we sit in that discomfort and we grow, we see why we shouldn't have played small in the first place. So this book is really good. It's on my continued growth list because queens never stop expanding their minds. We always find things to help us get pushed in the right direction. And sometimes we need a little push, and we need to pray and trust God that everything that's within us, if it's planted in us, it's for us. So ladies, remember, I tell you all the time to check out Self Love Through the Storm. This ebook was written by me, and it has journal prompts, and it's amazing. And if you feel like you're in a transition in your life and you feel like you're in a place where you feel stuck, or you feel like you're transitioning and you feel a lot of anxiety about where you're going, Self-Love Through the Storm is definitely going to help you navigate those fears and also help you get through a lot of grief and traumatic experiences that are blocking you from achieving the things that you know that you deserve. So check it out. Go to belux.me. That's my website. And also follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Hive Belux. And there you'll find all of my future events. I host healing circles, and I have one-on-ones that you can book on belux.me. It was a pleasure being with you ladies today, and stay tuned for another episode next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Next week is going to be fire. I cannot wait to be with you guys again. I love you with all of my heart, and remember that this episode was meant for you to grow and stretch, and do not play small because you deserve to expand. Happy Wednesday.
Hey Queen, it's your girl Tikea. Welcome to Queen Bee Frequency on Omega Radio, your space for growth and becoming her. Tune in Wednesdays at 10 a.m., where energy shifts and queens rise.
All right, Omega listeners, you were just tuned into Queen Bee Frequency with your host, Tikea Bowers. We trust that you enjoyed today's program, today's episode. Make sure you tune back in next week, Wednesday, at the same time of 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this station. You don't want to miss the next episode of Queen Bee Frequency, once again with your host, Tikea Bowers. Thank you for tuning in today. Continue to stay locked in and stay tuned in to Omega Radio. We have more lined up for you.
It's the #1 radio in the atmosphere, here, there, and everywhere. Omega Radio.
Join Omega Church and Omega Center for our powerful weekly fasting and prayer service every Wednesday from 12 midnight until 3 p.m. or 6 p.m. Come experience breakthrough, healing, and divine intervention. Live midday service at 12 noon to 2 p.m. at 11030 Walls Road, Coral Springs, Florida 33076, and 17 Haining Road, Kingston 5, Jamaica. Don't miss your moment with the Lord. Omega Church fasting and prayer service where lives are changed and transformed for the glory of God. Don't miss it.
My Mega Mind.